What's up guys, Sub-Zero here. Today we're going to be VOD reviewing Setsuko, and just to give you a sense of how ahead this guy is from the rest of the pack in NA, last week we VOD reviewed Basso Skills, who is rank 1. Setsuko is now easily, by far rank 1 at almost 1800 LP, almost 600 LP ahead of Dish Soap, who is another cracked player, over 600 LP in front of Noster, who is another insane player. And also look at his games played. It's not like he's even playing more than a lot of these players like Basso or even like Noster. So I just wanted to see exactly what Setsuko is doing different from everybody, because I know he's just an absolutely cracked player, but this is definitely best solo queue player ever in NA. More comp, maybe we'll see if he's the best player ever, if he can get some more tournaments under his belt. Happy holidays, man. Loving the VOD reviews. Excellent wearing. Thank you, Ryan. Very sweet. All right, so he plays the two Ashes here just because it's an Ash pair, I believe. I'd be interested if he actually ends up playing like GP. Oh, that is another Ash. He checks admin immediately. Okay, so this is actually the admin start. It's almost exactly the same admin start as my most recent YouTube video that I posted, though. Maybe it won't be when I post this. But this is, we watched Flancy play a Jax game with this, because you just use this to skill up all of your bruisers. It's very, very strong. That could be an angle he could go for. The other two I really don't think are very good. Like, these are horrible admin, so I think this is the only possible take, but I don't know if that necessarily means you're playing Jax yet. You have reasonable items to play it, right? This could be RFC/Gwinsu, this could be BT, so it could be a very reasonable Jax angle. Glove could be QSS. He's not going to pre-level here, of course. He has 3 options: Prep, Brawler Crown, and Ancient Archives. Yeah, I think you can actually just send it on Brawler Crown here and then play a Jax game very easily. He can scout a bit, see if there's anyone else with a Jax. Did we see someone with a Jax? I'm not sure. It's too much work to go back. Okay, and he's actually going to cut, but... Okay, and he's just going to play for Brawler here. No admin in early. Definitely wants to keep the Ash and just have a stronger board. Okay, so this is actually really crucial. He's not going to greed the admin here. He's just going to play for strongest board and play for streak. That makes a lot of sense. Because, I mean, you definitely want to play for Brawler here, and the only way to do that and to play admin is to cut the Ash, but then your damage is looking quite low. So what you're going to do is play this, and then seems like very reasonably at level 5 you could just get in the Camille, or even the LeBlanc now, which would work as a very nice backliner. You already have a Riven, which is really good. You want to start scaling up the Riven and the Blitzcrank. The Renekton usually doesn't end up on your late game board in this comp. Okay, so doing some scouting, seeing, okay, so he knows he's contested one way in Jax, so at least one way. I saw one person who definitely looked like they were angling Jax. Okay, and he's actually going to make gold here. He's going to make 10. He knows he's going to win this fight. Okay, so that's another big decision. He prioritizes making gold here over potentially holding the admin. I think that's really reasonable. I probably would have greeted holding the admin, but it looks like he values it, like, not insanely high. Because what you can do is, like, ooh, okay. I mean, Vi's definitely stronger there. I'm surprised about, maybe I'm not surprised about Renekton over Blitzcrank. I feel like Blitz might be a slightly better unit, but it's close. I don't think he's going to double level here, but you could have actually double level here. It would just kind of wreck your econ. And awesome, he fights Dank Memes 01, who is playing the worst board of all time in order to loss streak, so he gets a free win streak. I would expect a pre-level here. This is something that I also saw Flancy do. Flancy also didn't pre-level in this situation. I wonder why. I mean, maybe he's looking for like Blitzcrank 2 or something. Okay, he does pre-level. I'm like, I feel like you should always pre-level there. Okay, so RFC, QSS, BT are all very reasonable items. Probably RFC or QSS would be best if you could, just because those items work well on Ash. Whereas like a BT is not going to give you any value on Ash whatsoever. Okay, there's another Ash, but yeah, you can just get in Laser Courier, and now we can slam the sword. And this looks like a very strong board. Doesn't really have anything else that he wants to play here. If he loses this fight, he may have to sell Blitzcrank, which would kind of suck, but I think it's definitely worth it. Okay. And this is a relatively strong board. They have no combat augment as the upside, and like no 2-star units, so he should be fine, I imagine. Also, this Ash is pretty strong, but yeah, huge decision in the early game to actually end up playing this Ash, and it's carried him through the early game. I really think this is what sets Setsuko apart from a lot of the other players in NA, is just his understanding of strongest board and how to win streak. It seems like almost every game this guy plays, he's win streaking, and it's just because he has a really good understanding of what makes a board strong in TFT. Okay, hits Blitz 2, plays it. He is probably malding about the fact that this guy is Blitz 2, Vi 2, but that's okay. Yeah, we'll just... Oh my god. He did not put I mean, it doesn't really matter. There's no AoE on this team, but the redemption from Riven is not going to proc on Renekton, which is kind of unfortunate. And it looks like he's going to lose this fight. There's another person playing a Brawler's Opener with the Radiant Sunfire Cape. A little scary. I don't expect him to sell his 2 units on bench here. Yeah, I mean, surely you hold those. Okay, and he'll just keep chilling. Admin could come in here, or he could just try to go for the 6 Brawler angle at level 6. We'll see what he ends up doing. He can play 6 Brawler plus Admin, even with the +1 Brawler. There's Sword. He already had a Sword, so I'm actually curious what he ends up building here. He could also, like, he doesn't have to play to be a Jax game from this spot, especially because it's looking more contested. Like, he could even end up playing around, I mean, surely 6 Brawler at 6, make 40 gold here, and just chill for 1 round. But yeah, like, he could end up just playing like a Samira game with RFC. It doesn't sound that gross. And I think Setsuko is someone who really, really likes Samira as like a late game way to cap out your board. Another reason why I wanted to watch some of his VODs, because like, I have had okay success on the Samira unit, but it seems like every time I tune into this guy's stream, he's playing some insanely capped Samira board and like going like top 2. So yeah, all right. Beats this Yumi board, really, really nice. We'll see what augment he gets here. If he gets like a Jax augment, I wonder if he full commits. Okay, Cursed Crown, Binary, Battle Mage. Battle Mage is really good for the Jax comp. Cursed Crown is just, I don't think it's that much of an option here, just because you don't have that many units you really want to put in, but I guess you could potentially level and start rolling for units to put in. And then Binary, I think, is quite reasonable here. You have 2 extra item components because of the Brawler Crown. The only problem is you slammed Sword on Ashe, so you're never getting Binary value on Ashe, which feels very, very bad. So I'm actually curious what he takes here. If not for the item slammed on Ashe, I would definitely take Binary. I mean, Cursed Crown doesn't seem awful. He also has a relatively strong board here. Hey, what's up? It's Baka. And then Battle Mage is good for Jax, but I mean, Battle Mage is just good straight up for Jax, but then you're kind of full committed to Jax at that point. I guess you could even reroll. It's a prismatic. Down to listen in a little bit. See if he says something.
It's not really that good. It was back, but now it's too late. Now what? We lost? Hello, we lost.
Okay.
It was. How can they not speak fast in the first one, man?
Okay. So yeah, I don't think any of those options were great in his spot, so I do think the reroll makes sense. And yeah, if he had actually insta rerolled, he could have gone for the think fast. That's what he was saying. But I mean, that's a very hard decision to make. Can't really expect yourself to insta reroll that. That's really interesting, especially when you see a prismatic. You really have to prioritize the possibility of insta rerolling. Like, it's kind of important tech. All right, so he's gonna play this board now with the 6 Brawlers, and let me see his board again. Did he end up? Because he could either play, I mean, he's just playing 6 Brawlers. Like, he could get in Laser Core eventually again, or he could look to get an admin. Right now, I mean, you should prioritize 6 Brawlers plus a backline. But yeah, like, look, this Ashe has been on the board for so long. For a while, it was with Laser Core in, but right now it's just 0 synergies Ashe, and she's doing infinite work here. Like, I think Setsuko just has such a good understanding of what units carry what items early, who are good damage dealers, like, and tanks. Like, it makes so much sense. I'm really curious to see what he goes for here. Because you could, like, look more on the Jax angle and go for something like a BT, or you could just play for strongest. I mean, I think you can take Loki regardless. Like, I don't really want to tier in any of these comps. Okay, and he's just going to level here to make 30. I mean, and make 30. So yeah, he thinks about, he hovers the BT. It's definitely still in his mind. Oh, you could also play Vayne, huh? I mean, why would you, though? Yeah, pretty sure this is better. He's looking at the, wait, what? This person used all their high roller dice and has 2 Jaxes? I mean, that's good news for Setsuko. That person is, like, kind of going 8th, right? But that's quite interesting. Oh, this is a big fight. If he could keep his streak here, that would be really good. We're going into overtime. I think he's got it. Nice. Oh, and this is a high roller threats player, right? Oh, and there's Soraka. Also hits the Jax, and so it just immediately sends it. Gets Soraka plus Jackson. Brawler Soraka, slams items, and says, all right, I'm committed. I hit 1 Jax, I'm all in. I mean, the nice thing about this spot is that he's so healthy, he has such a good win streak, that, like, he doesn't necessarily, I mean, he's not going to probably roll at 7. Is there any other viable brawler comp except Jax? I mean, there's lots of comps that use There are some comps that use Brawler frontline. Like, if you ever want to play around Anima Squad, you're just getting Ribbon in regardless. But, like, as far as, like, 6 Brawlers, no. I mean, it's basically, like, Jax. I mean, theoretically, you could play 6 Brawlers plus, like, Aurelion Sol or something. But it's mostly just because Jax is just such a easy carry that you can play with 6 Brawlers. Like, why wouldn't you play Jax, I guess? But outside of that, you can just use them as a frontline, you know? Just put in Vi plus Sejuani as any frontline. You play him in, like, the Zed comp for frontline. Oh, yeah. Oh my gosh, look at all these components. I mean, he probably wants Gwynsu. Okay, he's going to roll at 7 here a bit to stabilize. If he hits Jax 2, he's stable. If he hits Raka 2, he's almost stable. Okay. It's also 2 Nunus. All right, but yeah, you just slam RFC here. GS looks really good as well. And this last item, TG or JG maybe? Is one actually any good? I feel like it falls off super hard. I mean, I don't think it's that great. He had a pretty unfortunate circumstance where he rerolled his second augment. It was prismatic, and one of his options was think fast, but he took a really long time to do it, so there was no way that he had enough time to think fast, so he basically only had 2 options. So I think it's all right. Ooh. So what's funny about Infuse here is that it gets 0 value for Jax, right? He has no mana. But this does give you a Soraka 2 with I mean, just a pretty solid augment for the rest of your team. So I feel like you have to take it. Also, you have Woodland Charm, so now you have 2 Sorakas. So I kind of feel like you have to take that there, but it's actually funny that there's no synergy. Okay, he's molding about this guy's board because he has like a Mordekaiser 2, but I mean, it's like high-end shopping. What are you gonna do? And Zed 2 and Viego 2. I mean, it's definitely a strong board. Don't get me wrong. All right, let me turn quality down so it doesn't skip like that at all. I was just wait. I mean, the only thing I could do is start downloading these VODs ahead of time, which is what I should do, but that's like way too much pre-planning. But you know, that's life. But yeah, his spot still looks really good. I'm curious how many Jax are actually out of the pool at this point, because I mean, what do you go 8 for in this spot with +1 Brawler? Once again, last time I VOD reviewed this comp, I was like, I really don't play this comp that much. Like, what do you actually add here? I mean, you could add like ideally like a Leona or something, like a really nice 5 cost. Leona gives you Aegis. You could throw in a random Fiddlesticks, Janna, depending on the weather. Like the world's most random Nunu. But like, yeah, I'm curious what you would most like to add here. I'm curious to see what Setsuko ends up adding. Even like Aurelion Sol would be fine, right? In the reduction. Oh, he got kind of wrecked with it. Okay, so he's got this glove. You could also even end up reforging the glove, doing infinite scouting here, just seeing what everyone else's boards look like. You go JG. The problem is that you have no mana items to rocket them. Like, I almost want to take tier here and look for a blue buff. What's your favorite augment to go? I really like Hustler. The one that, ooh, yeah, just random Urgot seems fine. Also, maybe he's looking for Raka 3? Other Jax is good. It's an Echo here. Who did he cut for Echo here? Wait, I'm losing my mind. He leveled, added Urgot. And then what did he end up cutting for Echo? Oh, he had 7 Brawler in. So he could also go like the 8 Brawler route, but he's missing. This is once again. Oh, he's missing. Wait, no, he has Blitzcrank. He has Renekton. Oh, he's missing Sedge. And if he hits Sedge, he can play 8 Brawler and then have a very strong board as well. Okay, that makes sense. 8 Brawler at 8 seems quite good. But right now, he's just going to play the 6 Brawler plus the random Urgot. Urgot's going to give him some extra economy and also just be a pretty good random splash unit. And then get the Echo in just because Aegis is really strong, like Imp Synergy and Echo is really strong. Man, it is hard for him to get through this Cho'Gath without a Jax 3, and it seems pretty tough for him to hit Jax 3 this game. We'll see. Maybe the other Jax player will die. I do definitely like him rolling it down here, just because his spot is not then. Whoa, he's going to play the double Urgot here, just for extra economy? Interesting. Okay, I was like, that seems kind of odd. Yeah, I definitely wouldn't go for double Urgot there. And I think he realizes that, like, the added effective HP from Aegis is, like, way too much on a board with so much regular HP. But yeah, I mean, this GS Raka with Brawler does really well. She heals infinite because Raka's heal scales with her own HP, so she's one of the best holders of that item that you could possibly get. Okay, he is going to slot into Urgots here because they do farm chests during minion rounds. I think that makes a lot of sense. Let's come for Tack Round Lobby. I think you really just sort of like play tempo. Like, the problem is you're going to take extra damage, so you really just need to play some kind of strong comp early. Okay. He's running blue buff there, and maybe Ionic Spark, looks like. Okay. Just gonna roll it down here, digging for something, really. Sejuani or like Urgot 2. Oh my god, he had an item. Okay, reforges that. Now he has TG and Ionic on Riven. Wow, that's nice. Yeah, I feel like you kind of have to reforge that component. But, I mean, you should have... I think he missed it. I also, like, did not realize that he got that component. Alright, he's fighting the Jax player. There's always a big fight to win when you're fighting someone who's contesting you, because if you can kill this guy, then fighting Jax 3 actually becomes much more possible. He does end up winning the fight, so not bad. And yeah, I'm curious if he just keeps rolling it down here. I think it's pretty reasonable too. Okay. Ends up getting Leona here over the second Urgot. This is the same slot that the Echo was in earlier. Okay, he rolls once more, but yeah, he's really just rolling into 0. And I love this really conservative play from Setsuko. He's 49 HP, but he realizes his spot is not very good. Like, his board does not cap out very high. He just needs to squeeze every ounce of strongest board that he possibly can, hit any upgrades that he can, and coast to maybe a top 4, because his board is not capped at all compared to a lot of other people in this prismatic lobby. So I think that makes a lot of sense. Another Riven. I think he's thinking about the possibility that he could have hit Riven 3 this game if he had just held on to all these Rivens, and he still can. He's only 5 right now. And Riven 3 would be really nice for frontline. I like this here with Leona positioning in the second row so that she can walk up but not take aggro immediately. Oh my god, and if she could ult onto this Nyla? Wow. That's such... I mean, that actually, like... I don't know if he's gonna win the fight. Looks like he is. Like, that actually wins him the entire fight, just that positioning with the Leona there. Like, that's so nice. Just give the Leona a little hole to enter into. And I don't know if he even scouted the Nyla there, because, like, I didn't see him scout that, but, like... I mean, that did swing the entire fight. Like, this is a situation where I would take the Protector's Vow. He looked at, like, another Redemption, maybe. I mean, Shroud's also really good, but I feel like a third item on Riven feels really nice. Okay, he does finally hit Sedge. Now he can get a Brawler in, and now his board looks very, very nice. And the question now is, do you go 9, or do you keep rolling at 8? I think he realizes he's spiked enough in this spot, so he's not going to roll anymore. I'm curious... Like, if, for example, the other Jax player dies, that was Pawn Up, right? Pawn Up died. I don't know if there's a third Jax player in the lobby, but if all the other Jax players are dead, do you roll for Jax 3 here or look to go 9 for a Leona? I mean, he's stomping right now with this board. He has best in slot Jax, pretty much best in slot Soraka as well. Insane Augments, Woodland Charm, like, good enough. Not like, yeah. I mean, the other two are quite good. I mean, even Infusion isn't that insane. I'm actually surprised that his board is 5 streaking here, but maybe it's just the power of 8 Brawler. I mean, that is a really, really strong energy. And also just really clean positioning, right? Like, look at this. His Jax ends up sniping the Mordekaiser. Like, it feels like he's gotten perfect positioning every single time in all of these fights. Like, a lot of these fights with worse positioning, I think he ends up losing. Like, that fight versus the Kaisa comp, or even that fight that he just fought. If he doesn't end up one-shotting that Mordekaiser, like, doesn't he lose that fight? He also sold Leona there. Interesting. I wonder if that means he's not thinking about going 9. The problem is, like, he's a little bit far off. I mean, not that far off. 4 Jaxes, 4 Rivens. But yeah, I'm curious here. I feel like hitting Jax 3 is more important than going 9 here, but you could also hit Jax 3 at 9. I think I would slow roll here at 8. Or if you just roll it down. Sunfire looks great. Okay, yeah. Now you definitely roll it with the extra Riven. Pretty quick rolling. He doesn't even... he holds the extra slots on his bench to optimize his roll. But yeah, he actually does slow roll down here. If you get one more Riven, I feel like you just roll it down to 0. He does have so much HP. I mean, look at the rest of the lobby's HP. He's at 49. Everyone else is under 10. It's actually so insane. And look, he's still winning fights. My god, this Jax board. Sanity. But, oh, I mean, this is just such a well-played game. So you keep slow rolling here. Another Riven means you probably just roll it down. Another Jax. I would even roll it down to 0 here, but maybe he's just like, the only way I lose this game is if I roll it down and miss, and he's like, I'm 49 HP, who cares? Probably. Also, focusing on positioning can't hurt. But yeah, I think rolling here makes sense to me. Yeah, I think you definitely... Like, I think rolling makes you a lot stronger than going 9. It's just always something you have to think about with comps like this, though. Because, like, he also had the opportunity to go 9 here, and, like, his board actually hasn't gotten any stronger, but, like, hitting Jax 3 is so big. Like, I'd be surprised if he doesn't just roll it down to... He really stays above 50 here. Interesting. It's like, it's... Okay, yeah. Like, I feel like especially... You're also digging for Sedge. You're one off everything. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I think you have to roll it down there. That was pretty quick rolling. I know we're on 2 times speed, but still, that was nice to see. Yeah, the Setsuko guy, I mean, I feel like he's the full package. I think just, like, the only reason people don't say, like, Setsuko is, like, one of the, like, the best player in NA is because he chokes in tournaments sometimes. But, yeah, okay. That's a first from Setsuko. Absolute tour. If you guys like this video, like, comment, subscribe to my Twitch down below. Thank you.